friends, welcome to this week's video. Today you're still gonna see only my hands because I'm not in the mood to put on some nice clothes and makeup, so that's what you're gonna get. Anyway, so I finally managed to buy a wooden hand model. This item should help with drawing hands, obviously, because it can be posed in each and any way you would like. Well, most ways anyway. Surprisingly, these things go for way more than they should be, so I found one that was cheaper, and when I got home and inspected it, I understood exactly why. Well, you see, this is pretty much good just for drawing anime hands, because look at the shape of the palm and the thumb. A normal hand does not look like this, it looks like this, so no one keeps their thumb like this. Which means that I cannot really pose it in any useful way. So, for that, I'm gonna repurpose it. I will be wood burning it with some tattoo ideas, because why not? I think this would look pretty cool and would make a neat decor item. So I'll get right to doing that, but first I need to sketch some ideas on the hand and then, of course, burn them. So I'll leave you with voice over me because I still have no idea what I'm gonna draw yet. But yeah, we'll see. Hi, hello, it's voice over me. This is the second time recording this part because the first time I forgot to change the recording channel from my laptop microphone to my actual microphone. Yeah. So let's try again. But before that, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. I would very much appreciate it. I am 3 people away from reaching 100 subscribers and I am incredibly excited. Now let's get back to things. So, this week I finally managed to do a quicker project. I did something that was ready in just one day. That was pretty necessary because for some odd reason I am feeling incredibly tired lately. Maybe it's just because the weather is changing and the allergy season starts. I don't know. It's unpleasant, so I was happy to do something simpler. Now for this project I only had to use 3 items. A pencil, an eraser, and a wood burner. So that was great. Initially, I wasn't super sure on what I was gonna do, so it took some thinking, some looking up for inspiration, but what I knew was that I wanted to do something quite easy. And there were multiple reasons for which I wanted to do that. First of all was because the surface is rounded, it's curved, and that really complicates things a lot. And second of all, because it is quite difficult to burn details, like really small details that I would be able to do on paper with a fine liner. I am not really able to do them with a wood burner. Maybe sometime I will be able to do it, but right now I think I'm way too much of a beginner to do that. As you can see, I started sketching directly on the hand. I really didn't want to bother drawing on paper, figuring out the shape, and transferring the correct design in the correct position. So I freehanded everything, and it was okay. It was fun to do that. So in the palm of this hand, I initially started drawing an eye. My inspiration for that eye was the movie Pan's Labyrinth. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, you need to see it. There is a specific monster in that movie that is absolutely amazing. It's still one of the favorite things I've ever seen. And I took inspiration from that one. And I wanted to make the design to look a bit like a tattoo. So I went on that route for the palm. Then on the back of the hand I did something that I actually eventually sometime, probably in the far future, want to have tattooed on my hand, because I dream about having a snake tattooed on my hand. Like, I want it to come down from my arm and have its head on my hand. So I drew something like that, but at a smaller scale and with less detail. I had to erase it and redo it quite a few times, but eventually I was happy with the way the final design turned out. On the fingers, I also added some small designs to complete the look. On the finger, I added a barbed wire ring, and on the middle finger, I added a dagger, because I just think it's funny. I was thinking about adding a pentagram on the middle finger, but eventually I didn't think that it would suit the hand too well, because depending on the orientation of the hand, a pentagram can be point up or point down, and I didn't want the ambiguity, so I said whatever, I'll just keep that. On the inside of the wrist, I went with drawing a heart. Sometime, somewhere, I will also want a tattoo of a heart. I've been drawing hearts for so long and I really enjoyed the look of them, so yeah, I did that. And funny enough, I referenced my own drawing for that. Just the same as I did with drawing the rest of the palm design. Because I remember that quite a while ago I drew a Palmistry inspired drawing, so I did just that. The only problem was that I drew the symbols in the wrong order, so I had to erase those and draw them back again. Thankfully though, that was done only in pencil and it was no stress, it was fine. Oh, and by the way, in case you don't know what palmistry is, it's simply hand reading. And the designs that are surrounding the eye on the palm are pretty simple to explain. You might even know some of them. If you're familiar with the horoscope, I'm sure you are familiar with the designs on the fingers, which are the signs. And on the rest of the palm around the eye are symbols for the planets. You have Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Mercury, Neptune, and also the Sun and the Moon. All of these symbols help a palm reader predict one's future or fortune or whatever the person needs to know. Now let's talk a bit about the wood burning process, because this time it was so much better and enjoyable than last time. I was feeling much more confident on my strokes, and the wood was also collaborating much better with me. It burned more evenly, and my wood burner didn't get stuck that much in it. It was quite enjoyable, especially when I started wood burning. The first stroke that I did was so smooth. Now, to be honest, there were also a bit of difficulties, like my wood burner getting a bit too hot at times, and then I had to stop it, let it cool down, and restart it. I also had to change the tips quite a few times, because there were areas which had more details and required a thinner tip, and other areas like the eye or the outline of the snake needed to be a bit more thicker. So that overall required quite a few breaks, which was annoying. But what was truly unpleasant was the smoke. I had to work once again with an open window and a mask. So if you ever think of doing this kind of craft, please be very wary of the type of wood you use, because some produce smoke that is incredibly toxic and must not be inhaled. And the last thing that actually I thought was going to be very difficult, but turned out to be alright, is the wood burning on a curved surface. I was really thinking this was gonna be absolutely difficult. I really thought this was gonna be almost impossible, and I thought there were corners in which I wouldn't be able to perfectly draw the design, but it wasn't the case. And I was really happy that it worked much better than expected, and honestly much smoother than it went just drawing the design. And after burning all the designs and erasing all the pencil marks, I still kind of felt that the hand was looking a bit bare. The details were not really popping out, so I went ahead and I took some watercolor paint and I stained the wood. I colored the snake gray and shaded it a bit. And I also went ahead and colored the heart, which I drew on the inner side of the wrist, and made it bright red. I also had fun and painted in the nails. I debated a bit with myself if I should do them black or red, but eventually settled on black because I think that was the main color and it suited everything better. And then I was done. I am really excited with how this turned out, and I hope you like it too. So please let me know in the comments below what you think about this, how it turned out, and of course, what would you like me to woodburn next? I would like some new ideas, of course. So now I'm gonna leave you with some pretty video shots of the finished project, and of course, until next week, stay spooky.